I wanted to show you one row from start to finish, including the beaded foundation, how we do that beaded foundation, what beads I'm using, all the things that you guys always ask me. So it's going to be one row of flex weft, and it's going to be our second row. So if you've ever taken a Bellamy Professional Masterclass, this is exactly what we do in that masterclass. We show you how to do that second row, and I am going to be demoing it on my mannequin head, and I'm going to be using red thread today. So red thread is really good because you can really see those stitches nice and clearly. But yeah, let's just kind of get into it. I'm going to start off with the beaded foundation, show you what beads I'm using, dropping down the density, all the things that are really going to help you with your install. I'm also going to be doing anchoring stitches, blanket stitches, how to finish, every single thing I want to hit today with the questions that I get asked the most. And I find that most of the questions I've been getting asked recently is all to do with wefts, whether that's your infinity weft, your flex weft, your volume weft, all the things. One thing that's really nice is you've got your flex weft and your volume weft. And with that, you can use those same stitches that we're going to be doing today. So you can apply those flex weft stitches to your volume weft stitches. Any sort of machine wefting, you can apply these stitches to, which is really nice for you guys. You don't have to have a million different things that you need to remember. It's really nice and fluid. So let's do this. I already put my beads on my looper. Today I'm going to be using these. These are from Bellamy. These are their new beads. They are the smaller ones. They're 4mm by 2mm. I actually really enjoy using these because they're so seamless in the hair. And what you'll notice is the silicone is the same color as the bead. So when you squeeze that bead and pop it down, the silicone when it's exposed is going to be the same color, which is really nice.
I want you to do the same thing.
Yeah. Let's do it. Okay. So I have already pre-strung my beads onto my loop tool. I'm actually using these. They're the new beads from Bellamy. So they are their silicone line beads, but they're smaller than your traditional beads. So they're 4mm by 2mm.
Stop it.
The light. It's fine. I feel like it's fine because it's long. Do you know what I mean? Is it distracting now?
Let me do another thing. It's not too visible because I'm looking at this side.
Okay.
But it's just, if you just press one, then it will come up.
Yeah, I was trying to see if I hit program and then one.
Oh, perfect.
That would do anything.
Oh, he's gone now. Yeah.
Wait, you want to pause for a second?
Wait.
Yeah.
Hey Zach, we're in the studio. How are you? Hello?
We're trying to figure out the lights.
I'm alright.
I think it's all lights keep going like
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah, it's just changing colors.
Yeah, it's
None of them we have to do.
yeah, it's really crazy.
So I didn't tell you guys we're in Bellamy HQ today. I'm so lucky that I live really close to Bellamy HQ, and everybody here is so supportive. They're always like, use the studio if you want. So today we're actually using the studio, which is really exciting. I love the change of scenery. It's nice filming in the salon, but it's also really nice to film here as well because you have the lighting, which is amazing. But today it was just my husband and I. We couldn't figure it out, so we're like blue, red.
Like you're the ones that get
But
the
yeah.
us, and then
That's
I've
what
just
we're up to
been,
today.
as soon as it turns blue and green, I just hit one.
What time did you get here? Like 10:30?
Yeah.
We've been here since 10:30. It's 12 o'clock now. That just shows you like how much time goes into just like purely setting up, right? Just setting up. It takes a long time. So I'm only just starting to get into
It'll
this
suddenly go
now.
from brown.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah.
my camera setting up the cameras, the lighting is just.
It takes a long
lot of
time.
And then I'm just already worried about packing up.
It takes a while. I really didn't account for this today.
We thought we'd be done by half day.
Yeah.
We thought we'd be done by
I
12.
was like, yeah, we'll be done.
Gotta go
Let's
shopping.
go to the mall. But it's fine. It's fine. I feel like once we kind of like get into it, once I get my flow and I get going, I can work really, really quickly. I feel like whenever I'm doing any sort of shoot, the thing that takes the longest is literally just like the setup and all the logistical side of things. You're stopping, you're starting, and then you're packing up. So I think that's what takes the longest with content, you know. But I enjoy it. It's really fun. Once I get going and then once I see that finished result, it's so worth it to me.
And also we wanted to show you the behind the scenes and see
Yeah,
what
so
goes
that's
into
why-
making the video.
That's why we're going live today, because obviously you're going to have this really nice polished version of what we're recording, but you don't really get to see like what goes on behind the scenes and all the things that go into it. And of course, this is one of those things, right? But yeah, it's good.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Got it. Alrighty. Alright, sounds good. I appreciate
Can you guys see me? I saw someone said they can't see you because it's dark. We're just fixing the lighting, that's why it's a little bit dark. But we will have like a full video up later that is going to be like way closer up, zoomed in. We kind of kept the camera off the set just so that you can see like everything going on around it.
I'm so sorry. Okay, so basically, he had me do something that should hopefully help. Did not.
Yeah.
This needs to be reprogrammed, but that should help.
That's a good, we can just pause it.
It's fine because it's like 15 minutes so we can just record,
Yeah.
put it back, record, put it back.
Okay,
It's fine.
yeah, it's hopefully, but I just did
We'll
reset
fix it.
for now, yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Good.
Cool, let's go.
Going?
Yeah.
All right.
It's going. We're on YouTube Live as well.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, so we've got all the things going. We're on YouTube Live, we're recording.
Oh my goodness.
I had no idea you were actually.
Yeah, we're on live. Yeah.
No, it's okay though, we want to see like behind the scenes and what
No,
goes.
it's like behind the scenes.
Oh, got it.
People can see, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because people are like, hi.
Are you gonna have what in here?
Maybe you're gonna face this way, right?
Yeah.
So that's fine. I'm gonna have.
Yeah.
Sam, we're gonna go upstairs.
Okay.
We'll be here.
But
Yeah.
yeah, just call us
I'll let
or
you
text
know,
me if
yeah.
anything.
You
Okay.
have our numbers, right?
I have, Anessa, what's your number?
Oh yeah, I think that.
Because I texted,
Hello.
I texted you and it's Alicia. She's
Oh,
like, it's
yeah.
me.
Don't say out loud.
Yeah, don't say it out loud.
Yeah, you'll have a lot of.
Oh,
People are texting you.
Yeah.
my number is 555.
575.
Yeah, no, I have your old number, but Alicia uses it now.
Yes,
right?
she does. She sure does.
You know the last time I was live last Monday, being live for 2 hours, gave
Yeah.
me 17 hours of watch time.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's crazy. Because like
Yay,
people
thank
talking now.
you.
Just
Yeah,
Like now when she was
Sure.
talking, there was like 60 people.
Oh, yeah, I'll text
This
you.
is like the way to go.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like being live
Yeah,
the
that's
entire
why
time.
I'm good.
Yeah,
Adds up to that.
and then,
And then you can just edit it later on. And just
exactly.
capture what you want and
Yep, it's so
Love
nice.
it. Cool.
all right.
Okay,
All
see
right,
you.
cool.
Bye.
Thank you.
Text us.
See you.
See you in a bit. Bye, YouTube audience.
Yeah.
Bye, audience. See you later.
Right,
Oh,
let's go.
there's beverages in here if you want something.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
you.
Of course.
Oh yeah, you have the poppies.
Yeah.
Let's stand your mark so that we see like where this camera
Oh.
aims at.
Ready?
So I want you to face that camera out. Face that
this
camera out,
one.
yeah.
Okay.
I want to see
Let's go back into
where
what
I'm
we're
gonna look
talking
at.
about.
This.
Cool.
So.
me know if you guys want us to move you a little bit further forward. I know you're further back because we've got kind of like two cameras. But if you guys want to see it like closer, just drop a comment and we can just move the camera a little bit further forward. We've got like two different cameras because we're trying to get like different angles of the install that we're doing today.
Okay, that's real.
Okay. So, I have already threaded my loop tool with my silicone line beads. So I'm actually using these. These are from Bellamy. These are their silicone line beads, and they are 4mm by 2mm. So they are the smaller ones. I really love these beads because they are silicone lined, which is great. That's what you want to be leaning towards for your weft installs. You need that silicone to act like a cushion between the natural hair. The silicone is also coloured as the same colour as the bead. So when you pop that bead down and the silicone is exposed, you're not going to see any sort of white or clear silicone. It's all going to match that bead colour, so it looks as seamless as possible in the hair.
So next one, please.
So now,
Yeah, when you talk about it, just let's bring it close. Let me just get that shot. Just to
do
make
you
sure.
want to do one of the beads?
I want you to hold it against the white, you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
So you kind of, no, yeah, let's go.
like this. Oh, I think just the beads, right?
Come forward a little. Go towards the middle. And hold it in diagonal.
And then go to flip it. Like that. And then we're using this color here, which is the auburn brown. Fine.
Then if I can do it, then. Towards your set, like this way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Perfect. So we make it there, right? And then do mention the
Okay,
stitching
so,
and just hold on. And just see. Let me just. Right. So let's do. You're gonna use it right, stitch it over, right?
yeah,
Good.
that we'll do that when we go into our stitching though.
Okay, what
Because
you
right now I'm doing the foundation.
You doing stitching?
Yeah.
Just explain about what you're stitching and how you do it and you being at the.
So I've already sectioned off my head. What you're going to notice is this section here is now going to be around 2 inches above the nape. Because what we need to remember is with our client, on a real client, we would have one little nape row here, which would be 1 inch above the nape. So we would have a nape row and then 1 inch above that. That is where we're going to start our second section. Because this essentially would be our second row within the install. Our row is also going to sit about 1 inch above the ears. So either side, we will have 1 inch above the ears as well. If they are someone that has finer hair, you might actually need to work a little bit higher. And then that way, when they wear their hair up, they still have really nice coverage. So now that that's all sectioned off, nice and clean, I am going to go into my beaded foundation. Our beaded foundation, we're always thinking about dropping down for density. So we drop down for density depending on whether our client has fine, medium or thick hair. Thicker hair, you'll have less dropping down for density. Finer hair, you will have to drop down more because we need more of that finer hair within our section to accommodate the weight of that extension. So dropping down for density, I actually always start here and I work my way to the sides. And then what I do is the width of my section, I take my thumb and I just hold it up against here. So the width will be the same width as my thumb. Whenever we're thinking about our beaded foundation, we are actually taking those sections a little bit wider. The reason for that is because we want to make sure that when we pass our needle down to do those stitches, we have enough room for that needle either side. So once I'm happy with that, I'm going to take my looper tool and I'm going to pinch, slide the hair through, make sure that I don't have any little crosshairs, push up that bead, and then just drop it down. And then now I'm going to take my pliers and I'm just going to clamp, clamp, clamp. Make sure that that's nice and secure. Then now I'm going to take my second section. Making sure everything's nice and even. Take my beads. And then keeping everything high and tight. I never want to drop down because I don't want to create any teasing or back combing within that section. And then I'm just going to clamp, clamp, clamp. Make sure it's nice and secure. So I'm going to show you what we don't want to do within our beaded foundation. So I never want to take my bead here and then slide it up from here. Because if we do that, can you see all of that teasing and back combing is what we're going to create. So that's why we like to keep everything high and tight. And then when we are clamping down, that's where we can go in and readjust. So making sure everything is nice and even. Take my looper tool, pinch, and then slide that bead up here. So everything is sitting nice and high and tight. And then when I go in and clamp it with my pliers, I can then secure it. What we want to look for as well is that movement, right? We always want that nice fluid up-down movement. We don't want it to feel like it's pulling or tugging. We want it to be nice and fluid. So I'm always checking for that throughout as well. So now, again, just making my way all the way around, making sure that my sections are nice and clean and consistent, because I know that the more consistent and clean my sections are when I'm doing my beaded foundation, the cleaner all of those stitches are going to look. Grabbing my pliers, and then I'm just dropping that down, clamp, clamp, clamp. And I'm just continuing this all the way around until I get to the front hairline. So when we do reach that section of the front hairline, that's when we want to make sure that we are staying about an inch away from the hairline.
Do that again, so that again, that part.
So when we work our way the front,
Yeah.
I'm continuing
Hold on. That's good.
continuing to work my way around, and then as I work my way to the front, that's when I now need to start thinking about where that section is going to end, because we want to make sure that we're not going too much into that hairline. Usually with the hairline, we want to keep it about an inch away from the hairline, and then that way we know that that client can wear her hair up without any problems. So as I work my way forward, that's when I'll start to think, okay, where am I going to end it now? But again, just working my way through, continuing all the way around, making sure everything is nice and neat. If I have any little crosshairs within my section, I just use the end of my comb to move it out the way so that it's not in my way. I don't want any crosshairs in my section, because when your client is wearing it, that's when it can start to feel really uncomfortable. So we want to make sure that everything is nice and clean, no crosshairs like you can see here. I'm just sliding that out the way with my finger. And then just clamping that into place. How do you know if you've clamped down enough? How you're going to know if you've clamped down enough is you'll see that silicone is exposed. So that silicone will pop above and under the bead, and that for me is an indicator that I've clamped down hard enough. If you do have problems with slipping of the beads, a lot of the time that could be to do with the fact that you haven't clamped down enough. You haven't clamped down hard enough on those beads. So bear that in mind when you're clamping. We want to make sure that they're nice and secure, not uncomfortable, secure. That's what we're always going for. Making sure I have no crosshairs. Just clamp, clamp, clamp.
Hold on, babe. When you're talking,
Yeah.
I want you to look into this camera. Camera A. Look. Camera A, camera
Okay.
B. So when you talk and you come off the head, look into that.
So I'm starting to come towards the end now, so I'm just thinking of where I want that end bead to be. If you feel like by doing 2 beads here, it's going to really push into that 1-inch perimeter, then stop at 1. It's better to have more room between where the hairline is and where your weft ends or starts than be going too much into here, and then you run the risk of putting it on really delicate areas of the head. The hairline always has finer hair and it tends to be more fragile. That's why I tend to keep about 1 inch away from there. So I'm going to go in, and this here will probably be my final bead now. Slide that up, get rid of any little crosshairs. I don't need those in my section. And then clamp, clamp, clamp. And then now I'm just going to move my head round, because then that's when I can begin to continue that foundation all the way around on this side. So now I can begin same as what I was doing with my other ones, dropping down for density, making sure that I have enough hair within this bead to support the weight of the extension. As a rule of thumb, typically we're going to drop down 1/8 of an inch for thick hair, 1/4 of an inch for medium hair, and then for finer hair, you're going to be dropping down more like 1/2 of an inch.
I'm gonna bring people of you to this side.
I always try and keep everything as consistent looking as possible, because I know that the more consistent I'm being here, the more consistent those stitches are going to look when I sew everything down into place.
Baby, can you turn the head slightly so I can
Yeah.
do that? So you stay to your left a bit more. You know what I'm saying?
Here.
Yeah.
Again, sliding that hair through my looper tool, making sure I don't have any little crosshairs, and then sliding that bead up and into place. And then just with my pliers, I'm gonna clamp, clamp, clamp. Keeping everything nice and consistent throughout the head. My section is about the same width as my thumb, and then I'm just going to slide my bead up into place. And then clamp, clamp, clamp all the way around. Making sure everything's nice and clean. I don't have any crosshairs, always throughout. That's just the one thing I'm always consistently looking for, is making sure I don't have any crosshairs, because within a weft install, that is going to cause a lot of discomfort. there's any that I don't like the look of, like this one to me looks a little wonky, I'm just going to pop it open and just slide it to where I want it. There, that looks way cleaner. And then now I'm just going to move her a little bit. And you see now we're coming towards that hairline, right? So we want to make sure that we're about an inch away from that. So I know that I probably now have room for about 2 more beads here, and then I'm good.
You might 10 minutes like that.
Sure everything's nice and clean.
Let me move this as well, because again, let's move you guys here.
And then I'll just do my final bead here.
Can you please? Right.
Final bead.
Hold on.
One,
So, yeah.
one little tip. Whenever you are pulling your hair through your looper tool, never do this because you can damage your looper tool. So always do that.
Stay there. You might say that again.
Yeah.
And look into camera A.
Okay, so one little tip that I have, whenever we're feeding our hair through that looper tool, we always want to do this movement as opposed to that. Because when we do that, that is going to damage that looper tool and it can break it. So we always want to do that movement there. So you can see I'm pinching, pulling my looper tool through, and then I'm just sliding up. Balancing it on my pinky, and then with my pliers, I'm going to do one final clamp, clamp, clamp. And that's it. We have completed our beaded foundation. So now we're ready to install our Flex Weft.
Maybe let's pause here. Pause.
Okay, I'm going to have a sip of my coffee.
Is there water here? Anna?
In the fridge.
So we're gonna continue here and press the time. Oh, get it and everything. Oh gosh,
What do they have?
Gatorade and everything. And you just get Coca-Cola.
Oh, is that Coke? I'll have one in a minute.
Mention anything in this YouTube video. Okay, whatever. Right, I want you to do that again. And I want to record this part. So let me just, we can start up. Here, we are recording here. Camera A, camera B. Let me just check. So,
Okay.
make it tennis slightly so when I'm, like when you run around, I can get more stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, let's go.
Alright, so now we are ready to install our Flex Weft. This one I've already cut, so I've already pre-cut this, but typically when you get a Flex Weft or a volume weft, it's going to come as one long row. So it will come as one long row, and then all we have to do is we like measure it against our foundation, and then we just trim it to the length that we want. So you can see mine is actually long enough, it's perfect, I don't need to cut anything off. So now that that is all prepped, I have 2 options. I can pin it onto the foundation, or I can go in and do a few of my starting stitches off the head. What I like to do is I'll pin everything down first, and then I'll go to my stitching. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to grab my clips. These are from Framar, they're the tight tension clips, they're amazing, they hold those wefts so well. So I'm just going to line that up with my foundation, and then with my clip I can just slide that into place, and then sure that I'm securing that weft onto the foundation before I stitch anything down and into place. Cool. She is ready to go. Make sure that's nice and clean. Okay, perfect. So now let's get into our stitching.
And we're not doing layers, we're only doing one, we're not doing layer this time.
No, so this is just a standard row. We're doing a standard row today.
Okay, maybe just say that to them.
So this is going to be our standard flex row. We're not doing any sort of an invisible row or anything like that. This is just going to be a really straightforward, easy way that we can install our flex weft and even our volume weft using a non-hidden row technique. So now let's go into our stitching. We are going to be using red nylon thread today. The reason that I'm doing red is because I want you guys to be able to see those stitches nice and clearly. Typically on a real client, I would be matching that thread to their base color or the root color of the weft. So for example, on my client, I'd probably be using the same colored thread as I did with my bead. The beads were auburn brown, so most likely I'd use an auburn brown thread. But today I am going to use red just so you can see those stitches nice and clearly. And regardless of what color it is, I always use nylon thread. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my thread and I'm going to do one wingspan and then two wingspans of thread, and then I can just trim off the excess. And then I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to thread my thread through that needle, and then I'm just going to let that needle hang down like a pendant, and then I'll bring up these two pieces here, make sure that they line up perfectly, and I always make sure that my thread is nice and straight. I don't want any sort of looping or tangles because then that can affect that install. So once I'm happy with how that's looking, then I'm just going to take these two pieces, put them over my index finger and my middle finger, and I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to pull those loose threads through and then pull. And then you can see I've created a really nice triple knot here. And then can you see this excess thread? I'm just going to trim that off. And then now that is all ready to go. So let's get into those stitches.
Alright, because that's what people want to see.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So we are going to start 1 inch in, which is about 1.5 beads. So we're going to start here. For these stitches here, we're not actually going through any pockets of hair, we're purely going through the weft itself. So I'm going to just pierce that weft here, and then just pull that through, because I want that knot to sit inside of the weft. And then now I'm going to do another stitch through the top. These are going to be called our candy cane stitches or wick stitches. The reason I call them candy cane is because it looks like a little candy cane, but they are our wick stitches, and we're just going to do 3 of these. 1, 2, 3, and you can see that brings us nicely onto the outside of the weft. So then now we can begin our anchoring stitches. So making sure that everything is nice and secure, I'll just go in and pin that down. So now I'm going to drop my needle down through this pocket of hair. Can you see here? So it's going down through that pocket.
Yep.
Yeah, down through that pocket. I'm piercing the back of the weft, and I'm pushing everything to the side, and then I'm going to bring that through, and then that just creates a stitch that is going to sit on top of the weft. And then now I'm going to go up through that same pocket of hair, and then again I'm just making sure I'm piercing the back of the weft, and then I'm going to pull that stitch through. So what that has done, it's created a really nice secure stitch corner into place. So you've got a stitch at the top and a stitch at the side, and then now I can begin sewing.
Let me see.
So you've got a stitch at the top and a stitch at the side, so it almost looks like a little L, and then now we can begin sewing. So now for our blanket stitch, I'm going to start in this second pocket of hair, okay?
Say that again.
So now for our blanket stitch, we're going to start in this second pocket of hair right here, okay? So we're taking our thread and I'm going to carry it across. Using my thumb to feel for that bead, I'm going to drop my needle down through the pocket of hair and under the weft. And then can you see that loop that I've created? I'm going to pull it through that loop. And then now I can pull up to secure.
Okay, wait. Let me just get the different angle from there.
Okay? Carry my thread over, using my thumb to support that needle.
Wait. No, again. Just over here.
Okay?
Hold on.
Carry my thread over, drop my needle down through that pocket of hair and under the weft. At this point, we're not piercing through anything, we're just dropping it down and under the weft. Hold up to secure, carry my Alright, carry my thread across, drop my needle down through that pocket of hair, under the weft, and then I'm just bringing that stitch up to secure. Same thing, dropping my needle down through the pocket of hair, under the weft, I'm not piercing through anything, and then I'm pulling that up to secure. All the time, I'm always pulling up to secure because I really want those stitches to sit that on top, right? I never want that to drop down. Carrying my thread across, dropping my needle down, under the weft, pulling up to secure. I don't want to drop it down at an angle because can you see what happens if I do that?
Let me just go from this. Say it again. Hold on. Let me see. Let me just take a shot. You can see. Let me just sit this side. Okay, hold on. Do it again.
Alright, so now, can you see what happens if I drop that needle up down at an angle and try and pull up? Can you see it's creating a split in the weft? We never want that because we want our weft install to be as full coverage as possible. Whenever we're dropping our needle down through that pocket of hair, we're dropping it down nice and straight and then bringing it up. And then my thumb will support that needle to stop it going at an angle or dropping down too far. If you drop down too far, what can happen is you begin to pick up hair from underneath as well. Can you see like that? And then that can get really, really messy. So we always want to use our thumb to control that needle as we're bringing it down. Carrying my thread across, dropping down and using my thumb to catch that needle as it's coming through. And then I'm pulling up to secure. And I'm just going to carry these on all around the head until I get to the other side. And these are going to be our blanket stitches.
Now I'm going to stop. Or we're going to let you go to the end and then we can start again. Once you get close to the end, then we can change the patterns on this one.
Do you want to bring YouTube over so that they can see?
Yeah. People of YouTube. Here we go. Okay, that's,
One second.
they're here. Let me just get this camera right. Down here. Turn this off. Okay. Yeah. And once you get to the end, before you finish off the stitch, let me know.
So we're just doing our blanket stitches, if you guys can see. So I'm just carrying my thread over, dropping my needle down through that pocket of hair, and then I'm just catching that needle as it comes through with my thumb, so that I'm not dropping down too far. So I'm dropping my needle down through that pocket, and then with my thumb I'm catching that needle, and I'm just pulling it up to secure. And I always use that thumb as a guide to like feel for that bead as well, so I can feel where that bead is and make sure that I'm not dropping down too far or getting too close to the bead, because I do offer move-up appointments for my client. So because of that, I never sew through the bead. I actually only ever sew either side of the bead. So just dropping my needle down through that pocket of hair and bringing it up to secure. Down through that pocket of hair, using my thumb to catch that needle, bringing it up to secure. And I'm just carrying this on all the way round until I reach the end. Making sure everything's nice and secure and in place. So dropping my needle down through that pocket of hair, using my thumb to catch it, and up. And we're never piercing through the weft. The only time we pierce through the weft is when we do those anchor stitches. But when we're doing our blanket stitches, we're never actually piercing through the weft. We're just going under it. Making sure that it's nice and straight. Don't want any wonky stitches.
Let me
One thing that I'll do.
let me just record this, because I didn't know you were gonna say more stuff. Let me just get this done.
Everything I said, I already said.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
I'm
fine.
just repeating myself. So just dropping my needle down, bringing it up to secure. Dropping my needle down and up. Always pulling up to secure it as well. So these stitches here sit at the top. Let me show you what happens if I pull it down. Can you see that stitch wants to sag? So we're always making sure that we're pulling that up.
Let me just do that again here
Yeah.
for this camera. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry, guys. People of YouTube. Okay. Okay.
Okay? So when we're doing our blanket stitches, when we're pulling it up, we always want to make sure that we're pulling it up to secure. The reason that we want to pull it up is we want that stitch to sit here. If I pull it down, can you see that that stitch now is starting to sag, and then it's going to look messy and sloppy and not nice and tight and secure. So we always want to make sure that we're pulling it up, and then with my hand I'll just support the weft and pull up. You can also support the weft here and pull up. Always making sure we're pulling up so the stitch sits nice and snug on top. So now I've reached my end. One little trick I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to pierce through the back of the weft here, and then that way it's brought me right to the end. And then if your weft is a little bit longer, can you see my weft is a little bit longer than my foundation? I'm just going to go in with my cutters and I'm just going to trim off that excess part of the weft that I don't need, and then I can just put that to one side. Save that because you can make it into a keratin. So then now I can start my ending anchor. So we are going to drop down through that last pocket and we're going to pierce the back of the weft, and then we're going to pull that stitch through. This is exactly how we started it. And then now I'm going to go up through that last pocket, feed that through, and I'm going to pierce the back of the weft. And now that has locked the top of my weft and the side of the weft in place. And then now I can just go in and do my whip stitches. So I'm going to do exactly like how I started. So if we start with 3, we end with 3. So I'm going to do 1, 2, and then now on my 3rd and final whip stitch, I'm going to go halfway through my weft. And then, actually, let me do it here. I'm going to go halfway through my weft, and then with my thread, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then I will pull that up to secure. And that's created my triple knot. And then now, I'm going to just drop my needle behind the weft, like that, and then that way I'm pulling that knot behind so it's not sitting on top and irritating my client. And then I'm just going to trim, and then now I can just go in and tie 3 times, making sure I don't have any little crosshairs. I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3. Trim off any excess thread. And there we have our flex weft install. And then let
Do
you-
it again, do it.
There we have our flex weft.
Left and to right.
Cool. So now let's
Okay,
flip
stop.
up.
Okay, stop. Let me just hold on. Let me just change. Oh, let's do it.
One thing I always do. Are you recording?
Hold on. I am recording, but let me just put this on as well.
Okay. One thing I always do at the end of the install is I'll flip up that weft and I'll just check underneath, make sure that I don't have any little crosshairs, none of that natural hair has got caught in the stitch. So I'm just going to flip everything up, and then I just let the beads down, and then that way I can just check that I don't have any little crosshairs. If I do feel like I've got any of those stuck, just with the end of my comb, I can just gently remove them. Making sure it's all nice and clean. Okay, so here I've got a little few hairs stuck, so I'm just going to go in and slide those out. You can see here, I'm just sliding them out. If there's any little hairs like that, I can just gently slide them. Here I can see a few. Just to make sure it's nice and clean. Once I'm happy, I'll just drop that down, and then I can move on to my next row. All good.
Just in time.
Just on time. Yay! Have a sip of my coffee.
Then we keep it light as it is for now, and then once we start, I'm going to change the lighting. Right here.
Do we have any questions on YouTube?
No.
Let me check.
I've been checking. I've been checking. There's not much going on there. No question here. I love this lighting. To be honest with you, it's beautiful. I love it.
What is this? Do you like your hair better, curly or straight? My own hair? Curly. I always curl it. Cool. Okay.
So done.
That concludes our flex weft install.
Okay, let me just get the angle for this camera. Hey, so you're gonna do 600 again?
I'm done. That's it. Just one row flex weft unless you want more.
That's what you want to do?
I just wanted to do
Okay, so
one
you want to do.
one row flex weft start to finish.
Okay, that's fine. You can just do. Thank you for watching or whatever.
I could do like a move up. I could show a move up if you want.
You can take it off.
How to
You can
do a removal.
Oh, yeah. Let's do this. So let me just go back there and we can do yours.
I just want to do another intro now because I'm thinking this could be a separate video. Or do you want to?
That's what I'm asking. Oh yeah, you can do another intro. I see how.
Because this is just a quick little 2-minute video.
Because.
Hi guys, welcome.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do it all together. Okay.
So let me just get the two cameras on. Different angles. Hold on. I want to do this slightly more facing this way so I can have that. If you want to stand in front of that tray or that.
Yeah.
You want to say,
Not to do removal.
oh, you want to do the new one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the new one. I'm thinking you want to
That's
say
what I was waiting
goodbye and
for.
see you
No.
cheer it up.
I thought we agreed to just do a
That's what you did.
removal. Yeah.
Because it's an intro company.
No.
That's right. So let's
Okay.
so because that's then just change it.
Let's do removal.
Let me just change the version. That's something that we get questioned out about.
I always get asked about removal. Yeah. Yes. 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 See guys, I told you, once I get into the install, it's really, really quick. I feel like it's everything else in between that takes so much time. I feel like this type of install is so quick to do in the salon. So if I've got a client and I'm just doing like 3 standard rows of flex weft or volume weft, honestly, I could easily do it in like an hour and a half. It's so quick to install once you've got that down. And that's why I really enjoy this type of install because it's so quick. It's comfortable, it looks great, it's clean, and it's a flex weft. So
So we've got a question. Hold on.
Yeah?
The question is, hi, are those wigs for people who had cancer? I had cancer and I'm not sure if I want to or not.
These are clip-in hair extensions. So these are clip-ins, they're not wigs. If you're looking for a wig or maybe a topper, you could try Halo Couture. Halo Couture have a lot of toppers, and then you could combine that with clip-ins if you wanted. But these are actually clip-ins that you see in the background.
Okay, there we go. Someone's getting political. We don't have any views on politics here.
Oh,
We don't know.
we don't talk about.
Well, we're not really, we don't know anything about the we're not people that.
All right, are we
Let me
ready?
Just camera A, so you just going to go straight or you want to talk?
I'm going to just say I get asked a lot about removals, so let's just do a removal.
Okay, you can look into this camera, but let me just get this one set up. Okay, hold on.
Okay, one thing that I always get asked about is removals. Removals with your weft install are super easy and really straightforward. As long as your client has looked after their extensions at home and there's no matting or tangling, you're going to find that removal so seamless. So let me show you how to remove a flex weft. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to actually flip that weft up. So I'm just going to take the weft, flip it up, and then I like to just separate the beads from the weft. So I'm getting all of those beads, flipping all of that down, making sure that's all out of my way. And then what I'll do with this hair is I'll just take a clip and I'm just going to clip that out of the way. And then now, all I have to do is take my pliers and unclamp all the beads. And what you can see is with my pliers, the ones that I'm using are from Hen and Easy, and they have 3 different openings. So I'm going to use that second opening just to pop open that bead. So I'm just going to pop open the bead, and I'll do this all
Let me get
the
a shot
way.
of that.
Yeah. I'll do this all the way around, just popping open those beads. It's so easy, it's so quick. Just going in here, popping it open. You come round.
I want to see all those sorts of, we want to see that second thing we're talking about.
Oh, this one. So I'm going to use this part here. Yeah. And then I'm just going to pop. Yeah. And then now I'm just going to slide out all of those beads. Okay. And then I can just take that clip, flip that down, and then just gently slide out my weft. So easy, look at that. That's it. Easy peasy removal. And then I can even just go in with my comb or my brush and then just comb out that hair. Perfect. Got my comb. Perfect, and that is super easy, quick, and then now you can go in and reinstall your client's weft if you want, or now is the perfect opportunity to do a full head color, Brazilian blowout, just a wash and a blow dry before the install, whatever it may be.
Okay. So let's do some question and answers, because
Okay.
there's a lot of people are asking about, I've noticed about, does it damage your hair?
Okay.
You know, like, is it good for thin hair?
Sure.
So let me face this camera here. Let's face this camera here. Let me just get this light out of the way.
Cool.
So the lady with the cancer question saying they can't hear you properly. So can you?
Oh, sure. Sorry guys, we're keeping the camera like a little bit further away just because we're filming for YouTube. So there's going to be kind of like close-up shots, and I'm wearing a microphone, so you'll be able to hear like everything more in detail once we get the video uploaded. I was just saying, what's in the background isn't wigs, it's clip-in hair extensions. If you are looking for like a wig or a topper, I know that Halo Couture have toppers which are fantastic, and then you can combine that with clip-ins as well. They also have the halos which look really great. But yeah, I hope that helps you.
Awesome. So
Okay.
Okay, let's stand on your mark. Let me just have a look at this shot and see where I am. Yes. I want you to face this camera.
Okay. Let me move the trolley out the way.
Yeah, just put it in a second. Just put it in a second. I don't like it to be in a shot. Rather than
It's
stand.
messy,
Good, yeah, you keep the head there as well.
right? Yeah.
Let me just see what in this shot here. Here. Sammy, can you? Perfect.
Okay.
You okay, Dick? Face that camera, can you start the more questions?
Okay.
So that's good. So the question is, does it damage your hair? Well, one of the questions.
Okay. One question I get asked by everyone, including subscribers, clients, friends, people in my comments, is are hair extensions damaging? Are hair extensions damaging is a yes. Let me do that again.
Hold it. Let's go.
One thing that I get asked a lot by so many different people is, are hair extensions damaging? The long and the short of it is, no, hair extensions aren't damaging. They can't be, because it is a product. It's like when we say that bleach is damaging. Bleach itself isn't damaging, it's more so how it's used, right? If you've left the bleach on for too long, if you've used too high of a volume, if you've let it over process, if you've put it on areas that have already been bleached. There's so many reasons why bleach can cause damage, right? And more so it's down to how we're using that product or how that client is looking after their hair at home. And I think it's the same things with hair extensions. Hair extensions don't cause damage, but they can. There is the possibility for damage because of the way that they're installed, because of the way that they're maintained, because of maybe they're not being properly looked after at home. So I think hair extensions themselves aren't damaging, but then there are factors that can make them damaging. And it all comes down to application, right? A lot of the time, or it could come down to, you know, if that client is looking after them, maintenance, removal is a big thing as well. Are they being removed correct?
I wanted to do it again because I like.
Oh, we'll do it again.
Unless when it comes on.
No, I'll do it again, it's fine.
Yeah.
I want to make it shorter.
Go for it.
Alright.
Hold on.
Go for it.
One thing that I get asked a lot is, are hair extensions damaging? Honestly, it's hard to, no. One thing that I get asked a lot about is, are hair extensions damaging? And I always compare it to something like bleach. Bleach itself, the product, isn't damaging, but what can make it damaging is how it's used. So for example, if we apply that bleach and we over-process it, if we apply it on fragile hair with too high of a developer, if we overlap it on an area that's already been bleached, all of these different things, of course, are going to lead to damage. Maybe at home, that client is not using heat protectant on their bleached hair, and then again, that's causing damage. So the product itself isn't damaging, it's more so user error or maybe incorrect aftercare of that bleached hair. The same goes for hair extensions. Hair extensions themselves aren't damaging, it's more so the user or the wearer that can cause damage. For example, if they're installed incorrectly, if they're not maintained correctly, if they're not looked after well at home, or if they're removed incorrectly. All of these different factors can of course cause damage, but however, if everything is done right, if you install them right, maintain them right, look after them right, and remove them right, you're not going to see any damage from those hair extensions.
Amazing.
Cool.
Let's do the outro now.
Okay.
Let me just pause and then start again. So I've got 2 shots. Let's see, let me kind of go for the back.
My legs are falling asleep.
Is that?
Yeah, because the floor is really hard.
Right, we are doing the ending shot now.
Just brushing my hair.
Coming in for the bad guys.
Okay, ready?
Let's do it.
That's that.
You want to say
Thanks so much for watching.
we are.
Ready? Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you being here as always. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you like this video, leave a comment below. And of course, if there's anything else I can help you with, let me know. I'm always happy to make a video. Thank you guys.
We do it again.
Again.
Yeah, yeah. What was that?
Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment below. What was your favourite part of this video? Thank you so much for watching.
You still got this?
Yeah, I did. Do you want to do it again?
Yeah.
Thank you for watching this video. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. And if you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I've got lots more educational videos on my channel. And leave a comment below. What was your favourite part of this video? Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Let me do it again. Oh,
If you find this video helpful,
I already did that.
well, I need to do it again.
I know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I've got lots more educational content on my page. And leave a comment below. What was your favourite part of this video? Thank you guys. Woo. That's what you told me to say.
No, we can see it.
I did. I said about if you enjoyed this video, blah, blah, blah. Lots of are made for hard floors. Yes, you're right. I wore the total wrong shoes today. I shouldn't have worn flat sandals. Usually I'm in the salon, and the salon floor is like really soft and spongy. It's hardwood floor, but we've got stuff underneath it, so it's really soft. So I wear slides all day and I never have a problem.
Okay, I would love to do
No.
that next time. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed
That's too much,
this content. It's going to be on the director.
baby. I think it's too much. I'll say something more condensed.
It is fine.
Because
All right, thank you guys. We're gonna end this live now. We are done.